New this morning, TKO Group Holdings and Polymarket announcing a multi-year partnership. Polymarket is going to become the official prediction market partner for the UFC and Zuffa Boxing. Joining us right now, first on CNBC to discuss all of this, jumping into our octagon, is Polymarket founder and CEO Shane Copeland. Good morning to you. And UFC president and CEO Dana White, good morning to you. Tell us about this deal, what it means, how it came together. I don't know who wants to start here.
Yeah,
Dana, did you approach Shane, or did Shane, you approach Dana?
Actually, Ari approached me. Look, the impetus for this deal is I actually love watching UFC. And unlike a lot of the other sports, there's no scoreboard. Obviously, if someone gets knocked out, that's a W. But other than that, you kind of have to discern what the judge is going to say. It's not that easy. And this idea of looking at Polymarket while you would watch the fight just made it so more engaging, because you could go and see how likely someone is to win and how it's changing in real time. And all credit to Dana, Ari, Mark. They're forward-thinking, they're creative, they understand this disruption and this new technology. And we had this idea for a scoreboard where you could see the live Polymarket odds inside of the fight. And we made it happen. So,
Shane and Dana, the other big question is, what kind of betting is there? Is it just going to be betting on the ultimate outcome? Are there going to be sort of bets that can be taken inside the match itself based on certain things that could happen?
Yeah, so, look, of course, it starts with who wins. But what's exciting about our approach is that you can actually buy and sell. You can trade just like a stock throughout the fight. And I think that'll create new user behavior and open up a new way to engage, where you can buy and sell as the fight swings, the momentum swings. So we'll start with that, and then we'll take it from there based on customer feedback and what the people love.
Dana, tell me about your thoughts just about the prediction markets versus traditional sports betting, how you differentiate those things, and what your thought was behind this.
Well, we're involved in both, but one of the things that I'm always interested in is how to improve fan engagement and technology when it comes to production. And I always like to be first. So this deal made a lot of sense to me.
How do you separate the difference between sports betting, which you're involved in, and this? I think that increasingly it feels like there's a convergence happening, even if the mechanism behind it is different.
Well, we're obviously doing a deal right now with Polymarket, but we have a DraftKings deal too. So we do have both.
But do you think about them differently? Because we were talking earlier this morning about how, in fact, DraftKings was thinking about even the state of Nevada and which market they're going to like more ultimately, because some of these states are starting to say these things are the same, and we're not going to give out sports licenses for this if you're going to be doing it through this other mechanism.
Yeah, no, that's interesting. That's for him to figure out.
Look,
Shane, how do you think about that?
It's a classic version of the innovator's dilemma. Ultimately, the way that we think about it is these events, if you're going and placing money on the outcome of the event, that is a financial market. And right now, they're structured as these entertainment products where there's this sort of regulatory mode, and it's state by state, and the app that you're using, that company controls the pricing, and they can cap you if you're making too much money, and they can profile you and give you different odds. That's not how a financial market should work. That's backwards. So from our point of view, this is the way that things should work, and likely there's no way to hold back the river. So what we're focused on is just having an efficient market and being fair for users, where they can buy and sell. And like I've said, what we've noticed is the user behavior is just different. When you can buy and sell easily and you go in and present it as something that is more like trading than it is like this, convoluted practical sportsbook, which is awesome, and that's a great product, and a lot of people love to use it. But I do think that there's an alternative way to present it, like a market, and that's what we do.
And then on the sports side, for me, we're always looking for better fan engagement. We're always looking, to make, always grow younger. And this is where everybody's at right now.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you, Dana. You created this, super entertaining product, and I've always wondered whether you think, in the stands, what percentage of people are going to be sitting there with their phones, changing their bets throughout the match in terms of engagement. Sort of an interesting engagement question, because you get engaged, but you also then get engaged in the phone. I always wonder sort of what that experience is going to be like.
Yeah, I think that it's already happening now. I mean, people are live chatting during the fights, and people are on their phones now, not just for my events, but for all sporting events.
How much you just did a massive deal with David Ellison at Paramount, and I'm curious, when you think about fan engagement, how much more you need to, to make the math work for people like him, and frankly for you. What other things you think you need to do to get and capture an even bigger audience?
Yeah, we're going to integrate this into Paramount too, and live scoreboard, and I'm always figuring out how to take new technologies and disruptors like him and integrating it into my product and making the engagement better, the experience better, whether it's live or on TV. So yes, this will be this will definitely be integrated into Paramount CBS.
Okay, so here's the complicated question, which is we've now seen a number of scandals, let's just say, including in your league, but now in Major League Baseball, we've got the NBA, where it seems like people are trying to fix the game. And because it's such a broader ecosystem now and people can be betting on all of these different platforms, it seems even harder and harder to police. How do you think about that?
Actually, it's the opposite, because now we have more data. The reason that thing was flagged is because there's more data, and they can see the movement and the lines. And one of the big misconceptions about what happened with us a couple weeks ago, we called the FBI right after the fight. So
how did that happen? Go back. For the audience that doesn't know what happened, explain.
Yeah, so we have the best bet monitoring service out there, monitoring the lines and what's happening. When there's any weird movement, they reach out to us. So they did on that fight. And we called the fighter and called his lawyer and said, are you hurt? Do you owe anybody money? Is there anything weird going on with this fight? And the kid and his lawyer said, absolutely not. And then the fight ended in the first round. Got up from the side of the octagon, went to the back and called the FBI. And now the FBI is investigating it.
What do you think of some of the other situations we've been reading about in terms of what's happening at the NBA, what's happening in Major League Baseball?
Yeah, unfortunately, these type of things are going to happen. Let me tell you what's going to happen if you do it in the UFC. I'm going to be the first one to go after you and try to bury you.